Time for us to connect with you, time for us to communicate, and that was the inspiration for the creation of the BlackBerry Jam program. So this is a great little video of 45 seconds. Have a look, see what it means.
Are you ready to jam? To improvise? Invent? Explore? Jamming is about playing together. It's about sharing ideas and talents. It's how we'll learn together and succeed together. The more we connect, the more our ideas can take shape and become real. They can become ideas that heal, ideas that make people laugh, ideas that help people work better, and ideas that bring people together. This jam will bring together the greatest app developers from around the world who will work together to innovate, collaborate, and create success. Introducing BlackBerry Jam, a fresh approach to working with developers, with every available resource to help developers be successful and turn their ideas into reality. So, are you ready to jam?
I love the concept. It's a pretty cool idea. Okay, so at DevCon Americas we introduced this idea, and at the time it was mostly a concept. You know, you saw a little bit of a lift on the website, but not much more than that. The whole idea is to make it a whole lot easier and more fun to be a BlackBerry developer, to ensure that you can get the support that you need when you need it. And so today, the first thing I want to do is show you some of the progress that we've made, starting with the BlackBerry Jam Zone. Now, this is the lift of the website that went live last night. One of the things you're going to notice right away is it's very easy to get practical advice on exactly what technologies you use. Just click through in the center part here, Developer Technologies, and then you can see all the different options that are available to you. So for example, here's the C and C++ native SDK. We're going to just jump right into that. Up comes the microsite, much easier to navigate than previous versions of our BlackBerry websites for developers. Information available on how to design and develop apps, publishing to App World. Downloading the native SDK here, well, you just have game jump right into it. And you know what the best part about that is? At this point in time, we've removed all of the necessity to enter any kind of personal data. You just download the tools. You get started, you can build your app. There's no need to do anything that has to interact with us until such time as you've built it, you need to go ahead and submit it. So, dramatically streamlined. And we built microsites for all of these different technologies that we use. You know, if you're interested in WebWorks and HTML5, there's another one there. There's the Java Android runtime as well. So I encourage you to go ahead, check these out. There's lots of information available on this site for you to be able to use. Now, another thing that is particularly good, we've added a whole bunch more areas to the BlackBerry Jam Zone from what we had before. So for example, if you skip down here and have a look, we've got a whole series of success stories. And we're celebrating the success of the developers that are targeting BlackBerry platforms. So for instance, Catherine Lars, the developer mom, she recommends BlackBerry WebWorks. And there's a whole bunch of information on how it was that she built her application there. And there's a whole series of these developer success stories that are right up there on the screen. Another area that we've made dramatic improvements in is the services area. You might remember in San Francisco at DevCon, we talked about the BlackBerry Jam market. And the promise was that there would be a market for you to be able to use to sell your services and to be able to buy services from other vendors in the community. Well, there you are. If you need custom development or testing or you need help with application distribution, you can find all that information there. There are different vendors available from different regions of the world for you to be able to go off and work with, and you can add your own vendor listing there as well. So again, a marketplace for BlackBerry developers to be able to buy and sell services between themselves or other vendors in the community. One more thing that we're doing to enable you to be able to build better businesses with BlackBerry. And I think that's pretty cool. Another one, if you go over to the App World section in here, now you can get access to all the information about how to use App World and get direct access directly into the portal. So for instance, across here, those are all your revenue generators, the payment service, the advertising service, how to create a BDM connected application and hyper-accelerate the downloads of your application. Below that, some useful information. Nice infographic here which shows you which BlackBerry platforms to target depending on the kind of application you've got. 46% of OS 6.0 applications, that's 46% of free applications are on OS 6.0 or higher. 69% of paid applications on OS 6.0 or higher. Really tells you, communicates quite clearly that you need to get your applications onto the latest versions of the platform. 90% of all Playbook users upgrade within 1 month of the release of a new operating system. Pretty compelling stat. Tells you don't have to worry about old versions of Playbook OS out there. And as you scroll down, there's more information down here. For instance, maybe you want to know if there's carrier billing available in any of the countries you're working with. Well, there's the list of carrier billing countries there as well. Now, one of the sort of cornerstones of the entire Jam Zone has been the BlackBerry Jam community. And the community initiative is really about enabling you to connect with RIM and with other folks in the ecosystem to be able to get expert advice, sample code, tutorials, or just an opportunity to go out there and jam with some people. So the BlackBerry Jam community page shows you all the different programs that are available, including the community programs around developer groups, the different jam sessions that are available, getting to the Jam Zone, which is the forums. And of course over here, the very last one is the Jam Rewards, which are coming shortly. But this is a new program that will allow developers to reap rewards for participating in the community directly. So that is the latest incarnation of the BlackBerry Jam Zone site. Now, we have done a lot of great things over the last 12 months to improve the experience that you have working with us. Developer experience, online support, whether you're building for BlackBerry OS or for Playbook. We got rid of the fees and the credit card check to get started. We got rid of the notary public requirement on Apple. We fixed the try and buy model. We added more resources to the forums and blogs. And how many of you have had an experience with our signing servers? Yeah.
You're telling me about that.
I'm particularly proud of the work that we've done with the signing server. When I joined the company in August of last year, all I heard about from developers was how crappy our signing service was.
Yep.
Uptime is now up to 99%. It's now over 99%. When was the last time you saw those things fail? It's a great result. Anyway, the signing servers, the signing server team, they've done a good job. All right. At DEF CON Americas, we also introduced the BlackBerry Jam Recognition Program. Kind of big mouthful. Internally, we refer to these things as the Jammies. It's kind of like the Grammys if you're a movie buff, or if you're a wrestling buff, kind of like the Slammies. Anyway, the idea here is to celebrate innovation, contribution, and success, to recognize the best practices in the community, and to reward your efforts in the community, to recognize that your help, and to let you know that they're not going unnoticed. Two other BlackBerry Jam community programs, the BlackBerry Open Source Initiative for developer productivity, and the BlackBerry Jam Sessions program. Now, the Open Source Initiative is one that's particularly near and dear to my heart. One of the biggest complaints I heard when I first joined the company was from developers who said, I can't use open source on BlackBerry OS. And that means that it takes longer to write code for BlackBerry, and that makes it more expensive, because we can't use those common open source building blocks that everybody in the industry uses. And you know what? We're super committed to open source. In 2010, we released the HTML5 runtime for Playbook as open source. And since then, we've added the HTML5 runtime for BlackBerry smartphones, additional code samples, libraries, the Ripple emulator. Plus, we've made contributions to Cordova. You might have heard of it as PhoneGap, but they've changed their name. It's now Cordova. Mm-hmm. And now we have additional open source libraries, physics engines, like Bullet Physics and Box2DX, scripting languages like Lua, and multimedia libraries like OpenAL and SDL, and general purpose libraries like Boost and Qt, and gaming frameworks like Cocos2DX, and Gameplay, which is a new 3D native gaming framework, and more code samples. If you're interested in open source, go to blackberry.github.com. There's tons and tons and tons of open source available for you to work with, and more being added all the time. How about the real world, not just the online world? We're doing more and more developer conferences like this one. This is our third this year.